Released in 2016 and directed by William Brent Bell, The Boy tells the eerie story of Greta Evans, played by Lauren Cohan, an American woman who takes a nanny job in a remote English mansion. Expecting to care for a young boy, Greta is stunned to discover that the boy is actually a life-sized porcelain doll named Brahms, treated by his elderly parents as though he were a living child. The Heelshire couple insists that Brahms is very much alive, leaving Greta with a strict list of rules she must follow to care for him. At first, she laughs off the situation as eccentricity, until a series of increasingly strange and unsettling events make her question whether Brahms might actually be more than just a doll. Now, as far as protagonists go, Cohan anchors the film with a grounded and believable performance. Greta's character is a woman fleeing a traumatic past, and her emotional vulnerability makes her both relatable and sympathetic. Cohan skillfully conveys Greta's transformation from skeptical caretaker to terrified believer, and this arc gives the boy its emotional core. Her subtle gestures, wary expressions, and eventual acceptance of the supernatural possibilities keep the audience invested even when the narrative flirts with the absurd. What makes The Boy intriguing is that the antagonist is not immediately clear. At first, the doll itself seems to be the source of dread, an unsettling, motionless figure that somehow seems aware of its surroundings. The film plays cleverly with ambiguity, using sound design, atmosphere, and camera framing to suggest movement or presence without ever showing it outright. The real source of menace, however, emerges only in the film's final act, and that revelation shifts the entire story's perspective in a way that few viewers see coming. Rather than relying on jump scares alone, The Boy builds tension through slow-burn psychological horror. The isolated setting of the Heelshire mansion, dusty, echoing, and hauntingly still, becomes a character of its own. The cinematography makes excellent use of shadows and confined spaces to enhance the feeling of surveillance, as if Greta is constantly being watched. The soundscape, faint whispers, creaking floors, and Brahms' eerie stillness maintains a sense of dread without overwhelming the viewer. The movie's horror doesn't stem from gore or violence, but from atmosphere and suggestion. It's about what might be real and what might be the product of fear and grief. The script, written by Stacey Menear, balances mystery with emotional undercurrents. The dialogue is simple and restrained, which works in favor of the film's quiet tone. There are moments, particularly in conversations between Greta and Malcolm, played by Rupert Evans, the local grocer and love interest, that feel refreshingly human amidst the supernatural tension. However, some viewers might find the pacing a little slow, and a few lines lean toward exposition rather than organic conversation. Still, the screenplay deserves credit for its clever misdirection and for saving its biggest card, the twist, for just the right moment. As for performances, Cohan delivers one of her most nuanced performances outside The Walking Dead, bringing emotional weight to a role that could have easily felt campy. Rupert Evans provides warmth and balance as Malcolm, a character that humanizes Greta's isolation. Diana Hardcastle and Jim Norton, as the Heelshires, are perfectly cast. Their brief but memorable performances infuse the opening act with unease and tragic sadness. Without revealing specifics, it's fair to say that The Boy's third act redefines everything the audience has believed up to that point. The twist not only shocks, but also recontextualizes the preceding hour of slow-burn suspense. Whether viewers find it satisfying or far-fetched largely depends on how much they've bought into the film's reality. What can be said is that the ending transforms The Boy from a ghost story into something more psychologically sinister, a revelation that lingers long after the credits roll. So what's the verdict? The Boy is an atmospheric, understated horror film that thrives on mood, mystery, and a powerhouse performance from Lauren Cohan. While it may not satisfy fans expecting constant scares, its deliberate pacing, haunting cinematography, and audacious final twist elevate it above the average haunted house flick. It's a film that rewards patience, offering psychological depth instead of cheap thrills. If you enjoyed this in-depth review of The Boy, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more thoughtful film breakdowns, horror analyses, and cinematic deep dives every week.